This is the D-Lo Show, and I am your host, Ryan D-Lo Delosier, and I want to welcome you to another episode here where I cover true crime. I like to pick events that are going on in my area, and I found this one. This was posted, I think it was last month. Yakima Police Department is doing a monthly cold case where they cover a cold case and look for just some little bit of help to be able to solve it. So this is a cold case. The episode title right here, we're going to call this 3 Deaths, 1 Night, the Unsolved Murder of Yaelin Arreola. It's the murder of Yaelin Arreola. This happened in Yakima in 2022. Once again, I want to welcome you back to the D-Lo Show. Today, we're diving into a cold case where one violent, reckless act set off a devastating chain reaction, claiming 3 innocent lives in a matter of minutes. Yet, despite the chaos, the person who fired the first fatal shot remains free. This is a Yakima Police Department cold case file, the murder of Yaelin Arreola. The night was September 16th, 2022, and it was a Friday night, and downtown Yakima was celebrating the Mexican Independence Day. It was supposed to be a night of celebration. Instead, it became a night of unspeakable tragedy. Our first victim is Yaelin Arreola. She was just 21 years old. She was driving her silver Audi, and a passenger was with her, her 17-year-old boyfriend named Jose Julian Lozano. They were stopped at the intersection of East Yakima Avenue and North 1st Street, and it was around 9:20 p.m. Again, Friday night in Yakima. At that area, that part of town is very, very close to the epicenter of what was North Yakima back in the day when Yakima moved to North Yakima because a railroad was running through town. That spot, that intersection right there is about a block away from the center of town. So it's right in the middle of Yakima. As Arreola and Lozano were stopped at the stoplight, Lozano, a member of the Norteño gang, was leaning out the window waving a Mexican flag celebrating the independence of Mexico. But that celebration was instantly shattered. A vehicle pulled up nearby and shots erupted. The gang affiliations of Lozano strongly suggest he was the intended target. One bullet struck a 21-year-old man in the arm, but the next bullet, the fatal bullet, struck Yaelin Arreola in the head. She was the driver. She was also pregnant with Lozano's baby. In the midst of the chaos, Lozano, the 17-year-old passenger and gang member, pulled out a gun and fired back at the fleeing car. The car carrying the initial shooter, the person who murdered Yaelin Arreola, vanished into the night with the unsolved crime to be figured out later. What happened next was a rapid-fire sequence of reckless decisions that multiplied the tragedy. Lozano, despite the gun battle and the chaos, didn't stop wait for paramedics or police. Instead, he put his mortally wounded pregnant girlfriend into the back seat of her own Audi, slid behind the wheel, and sped off. He chose to drive her to the hospital himself. But, as Judge Richard Bartheld in his later trial would note, he took a roundabout way, driving at a high rate of speed with a one-track mind. He wasn't thinking about the other people on the road lawfully occupying these streets. Just a few blocks away at the intersection of West Lincoln Avenue and North 3rd Avenue, Lozano ran a red light, and by doing that, he collided with a Nissan Sentra. Inside that Sentra were 52-year-old Maria Norma Carillo-Reyes and her 21-year-old daughter, Maria Cielo Torres-Carrillo. The impact was so severe that both women died instantly. Ignacio Torres, the husband of the father of the two victims in the Sentra, later wrote a letter to the court, read by an interpreter. He said that after the crash, his home was a quiet place. Where once was a home is a place of silence. Once again, a quiet place where once was a home is a place of silence. The laughter had left his family forever. Three people were now dead because of a single violent act of gun violence and the resulting desperate, reckless drive. Yaelin Arreola was eventually transferred to Harborview Medical Center, where she later died. Lozano, who broke his leg in the crash, was charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide for the deaths of Norma Carillo-Reyes and Cielo Torres-Carrillo, as well as second-degree illegal firearm possession. The murder of Yaelin Arreola was not his charge. He was the passenger. He didn't pull the trigger that killed her. And because he was 17 at the time of the incident, the case in juvenile court. In May 2023, Jose Julian Lozano pleaded guilty to 2 counts of vehicular homicide. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive 15 to 36-week sentences in juvenile rehabilitation. The judge, Judge Richard Bartheld, acknowledged that the sentence was light, but his hands were tied by juvenile sentencing guidelines. He admonished Lozano, saying that the 3 deaths were the result of a string of bad choices that began with his Norteño gang ties. The judge noted that the drive-by shooting was likely aimed at Lozano because, and I quote, "innocent parties are not targets of drive-by shootings." The judge told him, and I quote, "You need to make changes in your life to make good decisions and leave this gang life behind you. I assure you, if Mr. Lozano continues to make poor choices in his life, the punishment will be severe." That was a promise, Mr. Lozano. Ultimately, the legal system delivered some measure of justice for Norma and Cielo, but the person who fired the shot that killed Yaelin Arreola and her unborn child that night is still at large. Yaelin Arreola's murder is an unsolved cold case for the Yakima Police Department. It happened at approximately 9:20 p.m. on Friday, September 16th, 2022, at the intersection of East Yakima Avenue and North 1st Street. If you know anything, if you saw the other car, or if you heard anything about who was involved, you could be the person to bring closure to Yaelin's family. The case number 22Y030695. Once again, the case number 22 is in the year 2022. Y is in Yakima 030695. If you know anything about this, please contact the Yakima Police Department. Their phone number 509-575-6200. Once again, that's 509-575-6200. You can also leave an anonymous tip with Yakima County Crime Stoppers. Their number is 1-800-222-8477. Once again, that number for Yakima County Crime Stoppers is 1-800-222-8477. You can also contact them online. We are all Yaelin's voice now. Let's help bring justice to her name. That's it for this episode. Stay safe, Yakima. Once again, if you're wondering where I go to choose some of these, I do look on the Yakima Police Department GIS website. They track murders, and there's a way to even click a little button, and it'll show you which ones are unsolved. But this one in particular showed up on their Facebook page recently. So this is a cold case through the Yakima Police Department. They are looking to solve it. Tragic. Part of it was solved. The two murders, actually the two vehicular homicides, due to the car collision, recovered, but we're still looking to solve Yaelin Arreola's murder. So if you or someone you know knows anything about this case, contact the Yakima Police Department, 509-575-6200, or Yakima County Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-8477. Let's get closure to this family. Stay safe, Yakima.